Welcome to Movie and a Beer, everybody. This is Dan bringing us in, and we have some old school friends and co-hosts with us tonight to talk about a really fun and interesting and complex movie.
This is Blake. I'm going to pivot on my expertise. I am your kick expert. I'm here to sell you a chair that you can sit next to a bathtub, and then you knock it back.
And wake up.
Mm-hmm. This is Randall, and I have 44 years of experience with space, time, and gravity.
It's pretty good.
That's a good one. It exists, and I...
Yeah.
I am Otto. I am Christopher Nolan.
Oh, nice.
You are Christopher Nolan, or you just know a little bit?
I am.
You are. Okay.
Well, I begin to doubt you, sir, because he's Sir Christopher Nolan.
I think we're all
got knighted.
I think we're all projections in his dream. So, who do we attack? Who do the projections attack?
I don't know.
Let's go up and just punch Gary.
Yeah. So
Tell Tom what's happening.
What are you doing?
Just hit him in the arm.
I'm a projection.
yeah. So we watched this film called Inception, which has been around for a little while.
2010.
Yeah. So about 15 years, give or take. It was suggested by Otto because we've got through all the other movies he wanted to watch. We're like, what's the next cool thing to do? And this is a really not complex and challenging, but just convoluted and has a lot of story that goes circular.
Yeah, like that arrow diagram Cobb drew.
Yes.
Or Dom. His first name is Dom.
Dom Cobb.
Christopher Nolan names people weird. In Tenet, he named the main guy protagonist. Yeah. So
his name's Dom Cobb.
His weak points. Nolan does a lot of things right. Naming people is not one of them. Ariadne.
It's
Ariadne. Come on, take it easy. We know you love IMAX. Name him John or something.
Yeah.
However, last time we met, we were watching another director's film who definitely has a style, and Christopher Nolan.
Sure. Oh, absolutely,
definitely has a style.
Yeah,
very singular.
Hard
very
agree.
Much like who was the last guy we watched?
Wes Anderson.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Asteroid City.
Yeah, so we had this opportunity to watch this film, and those of us in the room of age were able to partake in a couple of beers along the way, and we also had some
snackies. Yeah,
some really interesting good snacks, which we'll also talk about later on. So if you haven't seen this film is about going into someone's dream and then they have the ability to put you under
and take information out of your head.
Correct. So you're just trying to retrieve something, but in this concept and in this situation that they got into, they were trying to plant an idea.
The act of Inception.
Yes. Yeah. Was this one of the first ones that had the big wah?
This was the movie that kicked off that awful trend in movie trailers where they kept doing a boom in every trailer. I'm not stoked about it because Hollywood's terrible occasionally. This was like that was the big trailer thing, was like that heavy cello bwom sound as the city folds on itself, one of the classic shots in the film.
All practical effects.
Yeah, they literally pulled the city. That's why he got sued.
Yeah, that's why they take a really long time to make.
Yeah, I can imagine that the blue screen work. I mean, there's the actual practical movements and going through the streets and the cars and the stuff in the shooting scenes and the chase scenes, and I mean those seem fairly practical.
Oh yeah.
It's just when they do weird stuff like the room starts rotating.
That was a set he built.
Yeah.
And that's something Chris Nolan prides himself on, is like doing practical effects when he can to make it feel more real, to really help tell the story. Something I noticed this watch through, I haven't watched this since like before COVID. They talk about how dreams don't have like set details or anything, or it's just the general.
You don't know where it started. You
don't know what city they're in, except when they mention the one spot where they meet Eves. All the cities look kind of generic. The hotel's generic. Everything just feels like very base. No, you could place this anywhere.
And that's what they said. You shouldn't use memories to base it off of, because then you cause problems. Because people notice things then. If it should be generic enough, you don't know where you are.
Yeah, don't pull a specific street from France, which I assume they were in a bunch. It seems very European.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Otto, your thoughts on that as far as the visualization of, was it generic enough or because there really wasn't any landmarks or anything. There were street signs and stuff, but it could have been any city.
Could have been anywhere. But yeah.
I did see the Eiffel Tower in Japan.
Oh,
and Paris.
And Paris?
Yes, there's an Eiffel Tower in Tokyo, and there's also one in Paris.
Did they move it?
No, they built replicas.
Does it go back and forth? Do they have a timeshare?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude.
Eiffel Tower timeshare?
In one dream, it's in Tokyo. In the other dream, it's Paris.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Weird.
I love it. I love this movie.
Well, it's possible to do that because your dream, whoever is running the dream, and the thing is, this is shared dreaming. So somebody is the architect or building the environment, and they're in their dream. but you then have your own consciousness that's expressed in some way, and that's what the
people
that you see,
the projections of your subconscious.
Yeah,
like mine would be, I assume, people I met at college,
Beano
from my hometown. Beano's too ethereal to exist in any dream
anything
state.
can exist.
Would mine be 3 other people at a podcast?
Do we have something to spin and see if it keeps spinning indefinitely?
Well, no, you have to have your own totem, which is, I think, a really cool rule. Chris Nolan's films, I'm a huge fan, but they do kind of suffer from, if you examine them for longer than 20 minutes, it does start to break apart. Like, I love Dark Knight Rises. There's a lot of things you sort of hand wave. Like, it's fine.
It's Hollywood.
We're here for the spectacle.
Yeah.
He's here to tell a big, grand story.
I think he's trying. I don't think he knows completely what he's trying to explore, and I think he's trying to do it through the movies. And
I'd agree with
he
that.
gets away with it.
Yeah,
I think he gets away with being like, I don't really know I 80% get what this is about, but I have to make the film, and even then, I'm not going to know what it's about.
But we still get cool details like the totems.
Yeah,
and we see Ariadne making hers at the time. Hers, now actors. Arthur has his loaded dice.
Mm-hmm.
Little
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of really good actors.
Tom Hardy's in there.
There's amazing.
Ken Watanabe. It's great.
They do a good job. They make it believable.
On the totems.
Yeah.
And I finally thought to look for this on this watch through. Dom keeps going on. We're going to spoil it because it's been out long enough. Dom keeps going on about how the top is like what he uses, but that was his former wife Smalls. His is his wedding ring. When he's dreaming, you see the wedding ring on him, on his ring finger. And when he's not, it's not there. And I watched for that this time and saw it kept popping.
Showing up and not being there. Was it there at the very end when he...
Oh, no, I don't remember.
Look, all right.
They might not have shown it.
Let's watch it again.
Watch it again.
We've got time.
They might not. The hell I do.
This is a long film.
For a lot of
film,
shots,
too.
you see. For some of them, they'll focus on the hand. Obviously, others, I'm just kind of watching. Like, where's his left hand? What's happening?
Thoughts on the use of closed small set versus big open spaces, driving down a street in a city. So that's really all it was. It was very small and closed spaces or driving through a city. There were a few beach scenes, but that was all CG behind them because it's like falling buildings and, in a dream. Mm-hmm. Do you think they were pretty successful in that as far as visual? Like, could you tell the difference?
I think in some scenes I could tell the difference, like in the first dream, I think, like during like the second half or something, second act, like when they're driving, like when like there were like explosions and stuff, some of the like glass and stuff that was like up close to the camera didn't look very believable, but like
I can see that.
But like in some other areas.
What was your favorite scene in the movie? Was there a favorite visual?
I mean, just the street.
The streets in the city when they were designing the cities, designing the dreams.
Like the rain scene.
Yep.
Yeah, just because I just feel so bad for the editors, and I appreciate their work.
Yeah.
They had a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really liked when she first went in with Dom and was being introduced to this is really a dream.
Ariadne, played by Elliot Page,
where the things exploded and then
Right.
stopped, and then they start a movie, and you're like, well, okay, so somebody's controlling this. Whose dream is it?
that was such a cool visual effect to show that things are breaking apart.
Right.
In it's a visual medium.
Yeah.
It's a very visual film. Very visual film. It's all about dreams.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so because we knew that this was a dark and strange film, I had selected a couple of beers for us to sample because we totally forgot to mention that at the very beginning, but that's okay. We digressed quickly.
Yeah. We know there's beers.
There's
beers
I mentioned
coming.
we
the next
consumed
layer down.
Next
We
layer down
introduced
is
them
beers.
early.
Yeah.
So we had a Commensal, what they call a Black IPA, but it's more of a red IPA. And then we also had a Black Dot or Gold Dot beer called Black Beer. So this is the
So many
Book
colors
Club
and
Black
shapes.
Beer, yeah, and it's a Czech pill. We're going to talk about those later on, as well as some snackage.
Yeah, I had some of the popcorn. I have
good-
opinions.
We
Spoilers.
definitely had to. We definitely had to eat during this because you were just fascinated. You stared at it, and you're just like, okay, because they do layered storytelling,
Yeah.
and there's 3 different. And Blake had mentioned that when you watch this foreign film presentations of this,
Yeah, in Japan's television, the top left tells you what layer you're in.
yeah, because they go back and forth really quickly towards the last third of the movie.
All right. Well, in Japan, I just want to say they probably do that because the film's mostly in English, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a foreign film on top of watching can you imagine watching
That's
a
fair.
foreign Christopher Nolan film? How confusing that would be. I would need all the help I can get. If this was like in French or something,
God,
and you would have to read subtitles.
I want to find.
No way, man. No way. Inception with subtitles. Yeah, no. I'm not watching that.
Although now I want to find the Christophe Nolan.
Christophe Nolan. Yes. That would be amazing because there's the complexity and the layers of they have to plan this and they figured out, it's possible to go deep enough to actually make a suggestion. And the suggestion they made actually worked.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't know if it was going to work or not. But the problem is if you die in your dream, you wake up. But in this, you don't because you're so heavy sedated or you're under a sedative that knocks you out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Which is great because they did the usual heist thing of gathering the crew and they went to what they call a chemist who puts people under. And I had the question watching, do these people sleep regular? They talk about how they don't dream, but I don't know if that indicates that they don't sleep. Because I don't remember. From what I've read, you always dream. You just don't always remember them.
Correct.
I don't remember a lot of my dreams. I just kind of fall
asleep, wake up,
go, I'm
weird.
rested.
Yeah.
Do you guys remember how you felt when you first watched this film?
I was blown away.
Yeah, it was
Blown
amazing.
away.
I really enjoyed it. I love interesting sci-fi, make you have to figure it out kind of films like this. Time travel ones, some that we've done for the podcast, work really, really well. The surprise at the end isn't a surprise because you know that something's going to happen either good for him or bad for him, but either way, it's going to work itself out because it has to.
Do you remember where you watched it for the first time?
In a theater.
I was in the MacArthur Theater in Norfolk, Virginia.
Isn't it interesting? I can remember where I watched it too.
Ooh.
Can you remember where you watched the film?
Yeah, I know this is a memory test.
In your living room.
This is a sobriety test.
It gets drunk on popcorn.
I watched it while I was knocked out.
Wow, really?
You did bring in that suitcase, which I thought was weird.
That's what I love about Christopher Nolan films, that I don't really understand any of them. Even Oppenheimer, I'm still not sure. Was that a war that happened?
I never watched
Anti-war
it.
film.
Was that a real war that happened?
I don't know.
I'm trying to follow the bit.
Oppenheimer?
Oh yeah,
No?
it's
The
based off.
World
It's
World War II?
No, it's actually
Based off of a real story.
Yeah.
no, it's
No?
fiction.
Okay.
Well, it's based off of the movie Barbie.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
The Barbenheimer.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer.
Like if
Doesn't
Barbie.
that seem like a long time ago?
What a wonderful piece of synergy. I miss it so much.
Wow.
That was like 2 years ago, maybe?
The world was a simpler place
while.
then.
It was a while ago.
3 years ago.
They tried to recreate it last year with like Wicked and like Gladiator. It was like
Oh.
Wicked. or
Oh, they
something.
did.
Well,
But
Wicked's,
it wasn't the same.
Wicked's far more interesting than Gladiator 2.
Yeah.
Was Gladiator 2 a bomb?
I mean, it's fine. I watched bits and pieces and thought, I think we saw this in the first one.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing.
It's hard to recapture Russell Crowe's performance.
Well, you know what they're remaking? Memento. Christopher
they?
Nolan.
Wow.
Christopher Nolan's remaking Memento.
I'm sorry for this joke, guys. That sounds familiar.
Full circle.
And now Dan's kicking me off the podcast.
Full circle. But what's with Christopher Nolan's deal with? I mean, it seems like every movie is like, apart from the Dark Knight series and maybe Oppenheimer, is about space, time, and gravity.
Yeah.
That's it. Interstellar, space, time, and gravity.
He does play with those all the time. In Interstellar, he plays in space and time.
Yep.
And gravity.
Tenet.
Yeah.
Time.
Oh my God, you're right.
So Tenet, I was going to mention that is things from the future can come back and then they go backwards in time and or travel at a different speed than everyone else. I think that's what actual
I gotta watch it again.
That was more confusing than this.
It was like this.
Tenet was way confusing. I still can't.
Inception took the time to explain they did an audience surrogate thing, bringing Ariadne in. That way they have an excuse to explain to a new person, the audience, here's how this operates. Here's how these rules work for this movie.
They didn't do that in Tenet.
No.
Not really.
No.
They just threw him in and they're like, here, now you're one of us. Do it.
And your name's protagonist. That still bugs me. But I like that in this movie they take some actual dream stuff, because you do, when you are in a dream, you don't recall how you got there.
No, you don't.
You're just there and you're thinking, this is relatively normal, and then like your third grade teacher has feathers and you're like skateboarding with the Ninja Turtles and you're like, this seems odd.
Yeah.
Right.
So talking of dreams, so how do you view now or going to think about how you dream and or what you can remember when you wake up? How is it now going to be different based on, having seen the sci-fi movie that may have some truth? Can you really share that? Can you experience it? I'm also thinking of stuff like, Everything Everywhere All at Once, where it's like when you dream, you're channeling your existence from alternate realities. So multiverse-y kind of stuff. And I think this is borrowing on that a little bit.
Well, this is sadly one universe, but no, I see what you're saying, because each level seems to be its own.
Have you guys had any dreams like this before? Like, have you had like this kind of feeling where like, am I in a dream here? You've had that?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seemed like, how many weeks has it been? Have you ever woken up and been like, oh, I've dreamed, felt like it was 2 years?
Not that.
No?
But like, yeah.
But you've questioned if you were in a dream,
Yeah.
I remember
Tight.
I was at outdoor school, and I was like, I was picturing a living room that I've been to before, and I was like, wait, is this life? Like, am I in a dream? And then like, I just woke up.
You woke up.
Yeah.
You guys?
It's that thing of questioning makes it seem more dreamlike.
Lucid dreams, recurring dreams?
Yeah, I've had not like a long length of time, but I've had times where when you wake up, it's like way too early before you'd be getting up, and you go, oh, nuts, roll back over. I fell asleep and had a dream that felt like it was a few hours, but I only slept like 30 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say like 15, 20
yeah.
minutes.
I've
And
had
then you wake up.
So
and
the
you're like,
time dilation
like,
thing is real, where I'm like doing this whole, doing something for hours at a time. And I wake up like, oh, that's trippy.
Yep.
yeah.
How about you, Randall?
I mean, I remember almost all my dreams.
Wow.
You should write them down.
I do. I did
you
for
do?
a whole 3 years. I wrote every
Yeah.
single dream down in my little journal every morning. I'd wake
Holy
up and then
cow.
I just
Wow.
stopped. It just got annoying.
So now you
Yeah.
now you splatter paint your dreams.
Yeah.
House is full of canvas covered in
You
paint.
should
Oh,
send them
man.
to Christopher
Yeah.
Nolan and say, here's your next
No,
movie.
Man, I think that guy's got enough.
Here's Inception 2.
material. Inception 2.
You'll
Can
need
you
you'll
imagine?
need the next level IMAX to make this happen.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm ready for him to make another Batman series
I think
or
he's
something
superhero-ish.
something a little more like I understand what's happening in this movie.
Something
Something I don't have to watch a YouTube video to like explain it to me.
Yeah,
like
I don't
that's
need-
kind of fun.
I don't need an hour explaining
don't
video
need
to
a-
explain
yeah.
15 minutes of this movie. Thank you.
Yeah.
Quick question. What would your all's totems be?
Oh, that's a good question.
Because I've been pondering that
A
since.
full beer can.
A full no.
Well, it's gotta be something
beer
that's-
can
we can't recognize.
Yeah, we can't
Yeah.
recognize a
I
full.
would-
It's
I would
gotta be-
suggest whatever level you've drunk it to, so
Correct.
you know
Yeah,
exactly
that's
how
what
it
yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It's always half full or just a little more than half full.
Is it half full or half empty?
See, it could either go an adjusted 20-sided dice or like a metal bottle opener.
Mm.
'Cause that seems like easy to pocket, something to hold on to. I have this great one from France I got when I visited ages ago, like from Paris.
Paris.
And I think half this movie takes place.
Yeah,
don't
I
know.
think.
You can't tell.
It looks European. The signs on the streets look European,
Vaguely, yeah.
and there's bridges that look very European,
The
and there's a lot of
license plates.
rivers, the license
Mhm.
plates.
Oh yeah, good call. Randall, what's your totem?
My totem, I think, would be
A cell phone?
Oh god, that's
Rude.
the worst totem I think in the world. What would be my totem?
Your favorite pencil to write
Really?
with?
Maybe my favorite
Well,
pen.
He's looking at you because you're gonna have to have an
pen.
answer soon.
Let's start
Yeah,
thinking.
I
What
think
would you do?
Pen.
Something that you can bond with and know, and only you know. And that's the whole trick: is you have to be the one to know what it is
Yeah,
and
it's gotta be
recognize it.
special. I
Mhm.
think it would be your hat.
No.
You
It's-
like the
it's-
bucket hat?
No. A signed copy
A
of
signed
Meet the Robinsons.
Ooh.
Robinsons.
Wow, there you
Meet
go. How would you carry that around with you though? It has to be small and portable.
No, I mean it's like a C. It's like a
Oh,
CD.
okay. Oh,
so
CD.
like,
Okay. All
so,
right.
like,
yeah.
I mean,
It's like a
I
DVD in
could
your
try to.
pocket.
Yeah,
That
it would
would be
definitely
cool.
get scratched. But
You could always change it.
You
You're
can-
yeah.
12. That's okay. It's totally fine.
no, I'm keeping that forever.
It's mine. I own it,
Yep.
and you can't touch it.
Yeah.
Because if you touch it, then it's ruined.
I got a top that promptly falls over.
Yeah.
It never spins.
It never plays when you put in the DVD player. That's how you know.
Oh god, my 20 always rolls a 1.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, I have a 6-sided dice that has all sixes on every
I saw
side.
about that
Oh,
one.
really?
That's sort of
Nice.
I want to sneak that in. I also have one that has all fives.
Mhm.
Nice.
When Arthur brought his, I thought about Dan's cheater dice.
It's like, here you go. Yeah, they're
Nice.
funny. Yeah,
And
I don't
it-
even remember where I got them. That's the funny part. I don't think someone gave them to me. I
You
think
got them in a dream.
I might have got them in a dream, and now they've manifested. You know, if you think hard enough about it, it'll happen. I mean, that's something that
Mhm.
a good way to actualize your existence is to think about it and know how can I get from point A to point B or become something or do something. You think about it enough and you'll figure it out. I mean, seriously, sometimes it just happens and you don't think it's going to happen and you don't expect it to happen. And then there's what's called surprise. It's like, quelle surprise. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't know what this is, but here it is.
There it is.
Yeah.
This movie reminded me of the last couple movies we saw, actually.
Eternal Sunshine of the
No. The last one we podcast about. No, maybe
Asteroid
the
City?
one
Asteroid
before.
City?
The one before that.
The Royal Tenenbaums?
Yeah, it did. Right.
Did you not like this movie?
It was the Royal Tenenbaums of Christopher Nolan movies. I think.
Oh, there we are.
I think so, because it was like about like a dad that nobody liked. Kind of, there was like a dad-son story here.
The U.S. government doesn't like Dom. Yeah.
Yeah.
He thinks he killed
No.
someone, but you know.
But like, do you not like this?
I don't want to know if like Hans Zimmer would like ever do a Wes Anderson movie. The composer.
Ooh.
That's a
That-
good question.
That'd be a good.
Oh, I'd love that.
Because doesn't he usually use pop music or,
He usually-
popular music?
yeah,
Pretty frequently, yeah.
Popular
Like-
music.
I mean,
Yeah.
Wes Anderson has, and like his earlier stuff has used like popular
Yeah.
popular music.
Yeah, like quote unquote pop, indie stuff,
Yeah.
up and coming artists.
But can you
Yeah.
imagine the composer of this movie with Wes Anderson?
No,
No.
I feel like it would lend a much larger gravitas because
It would be different,
Wes
yeah.
Anderson's movies tend to be pretty.
Shallow.
Well,
Yeah.
no, like small, localized. They really focus on a like laser point on
Oh,
a certain thing.
You mean you understand what they're about?
The rest of us
On the first watch.
is Royal Tenenbaums about? I can't.
No.
I can't remember.
I'm right there with you. I'm right. I can understand every single Wes Anderson
Oh,
movie
yeah.
the first time I see it and know what it's about.
That's so funny. I feel like I picked this up pretty well. I love
The
thinking
first
about-
time? The first time you
I
saw
think
it?
so.
Really?
I feel like I got a majority of it.
I mean,
agree.
I could follow it. I could follow what they were trying to do. It's just when they start at the end going between the different scenes, you have to remember, okay, so they have, again, the time dilation difference between
Sure.
they're in the car or in the van going backwards off of the bridge. And how much time does it take for that to drop? And then multiply that by, what is it?
Whatever the number. I don't know if they ever say the number.
Whatever the ratio
The ratio
within
was
dreams.
for that next level, which was the hotel,
But
and
no
then the
one-
next level was the
snowy Alps.
snowy
Yeah,
Alps
yeah.
thing,
But
and
no
then they
one's
went one
questioning-
more deep. So it's like,
You're not questioning if Royal died at the end of Royal Tenenbaums.
oh no, he didn't. He faked
Yeah.
it.
He died.
He totally faked
He
it.
totally died at the end.
No, he didn't.
They got
But
him
with this
headstone.
guy, with Cobb, like, I don't know, is Cobb like alive or is Cobb in the dream still?
but it's been confirmed by Christopher Nolan.
What does he know? He doesn't even know what he's
He
making.
He wrote this movie.
He wrote it, he directed. He doesn't know.
Well, it was mentioned that
He doesn't know. Wes
did he
Anderson
have,
knows though.
he had his wedding. His totem was if he had his wedding band on, then he was in reality.
No, the band was when he's in a dream.
Oh, the band was when he was in a dream.
Yeah.
In the very last scene when he went and was with his dad and they're back in America and the
But
kids
did
are
you
there.
catch that when you first saw it?
No, but I
Oh,
had to
not when I
Google
first saw it. No.
No, but I had to Google it and I didn't know that
Yeah.
the wedding band
Yeah.
was his thing because it was never discussed because you don't discuss it with your people.
That's true.
I was also very much the top's gonna fall like
Right.
that version of a truther where I saw it wobbling. I think it's wobbling. I think it's falling.
Yeah.
And boy, people took it way too seriously and were yelling at me about how no, you're still in the dream boat because this and this and this is like it's a movie, guys.
It's a fictional
film.
movie.
You're not arguing about what, but my
Okay, Otto, take it easy. Stop yelling.
those are fighting words.
Those are. So what is the difference? So here's a question. What's the difference between a film and a movie?
I think a film is like a work of art.
Okay.
So Toxic Avenger is a film. Got it.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, the new release is supposed to be really good.
But the first one's so good.
Film is like a painting,
Yes, a film is like a painting.
and a movie's like a picture,
No, a movie is
like something like a commodity, like something you can
Idiocracy.
like consume.
it is just it's something you can consume. Something that's just
Yeah.
like there's not too much depth to it.
It's like mac and cheese.
Yeah,
It's
it's
like,
like-
oh yeah, it's
You know what
mac
it
and
Not
cheese.
yeah, not too much, not too little. You're not.
Okay, was this a film or a movie?
He doesn't know.
Otto's nodding a lot.
He's nodding. He's like, I don't know. You tell
It
me.
was mac and cheese.
No.
Did you know what it was? Was it mac
this,
and cheese?
This was mac and cheese, but the way a rich restaurant does it.
Yeah.
And
This
it's
was
all
mac and
jazzed
cheese
up.
inside a Parmesan.
Oh, that's
Thing
Inception.
of, yeah.
And like and the noodles from Italy.
Yes.
That's like pasta inside pasta.
Yes, inside
Inside
yeah.
pasta?
inside of the
Which
bowl.
keeps going on.
Yeah, so you take the big wheel of cheese and you put it inside of that, and then you take the
Yum.
big wheel of cheese and put it in a vat of mac and cheese, and then you take that vat of mac and cheese and put it in another bigger wheel.
I'm so hungry.
And you're just it's layers on layers on layers, of
Layers on
cheese and
layers.
noodles.
Wait, but going back to that question of what is a film and a movie, I think a movie is just like picture that you've taken. It like
It's like a snapshot.
sure, like from like the outside, it looks fine, you know. But if you go more in depth to it,
There's
it looks,
nothing there. It's
yeah.
just empty calories. It's
Yeah.
Diet Coke.
correct. A movie is Diet Coke.
There we go.
Ooh, I don't hate that. I
Yeah.
like it.
Okay. All right. Well, we watched a film.
We watched
We
the film
experienced.
then.
No, we didn't watch. We experienced a film.
Yes.
Ugh.
So do you think that's what they want you to do? Do you think that's what
Experience
the
a film?
director is experiencing it and understanding it and internalizing it in that way, or is it just entertainment?
I think with Chris Nolan, he wants you to internalize it.
Yeah.
Like he's a film. He's a fan of film. Like he's a fan of making movies. Like Tarantino and Edgar Wright. Just he loves the medium.
Yeah, I agree. This is film all the way, just like Wes Anderson
Mm-hmm.
making films.
Well, I would argue that Bottle Rocket is more of a movie than a film, but that's a
That's
Well, you got
another
to start
thing.
somewhere.
You
Yeah.
gotta
You gotta
learn your
start somewhere.
craft.
Yeah.
You gotta start from the ground
You
up.
got to have your bottle rockets, your mementos, your Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs.
Was that his
What
first?
a great
that was
movie.
Tarantino's first
That was
movie.
his first
Dang,
movie. That was such a good movie. That's still my favorite of
your
Tarantino.
Shaun of the Dead's.
Yes.
Yeah, that is a Tarantino movie that I will watch with you and enjoy,
There you go.
even
But,
though it's super bloody.
I would say I think I believe that a film and a movie I think that a film and a movie are interchangeable for the most part, you know.
I think most people will know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could-
it's
You were not
reasonable.
most people,
It's
right?
based on your perspective.
Well, it still is by definition a person.
Yeah, it's based on a perspective that you have and what you're bringing to the table when you're experiencing it or watching it. Or,
Yeah.
I mean, there's a difference between watching a movie or a video on your phone or a tablet or a laptop versus on a bigger screen or even in a theater. I think
Mm-hmm.
most things that you're going to see in a theater, I would view as art. If I'm watching it on my phone or a tablet and it's a mobile device or something that's not meant to be static and you're there, you're forced to sit and watch versus I'm carrying it with me and moving around.
So
you see the
context,
difference?
it's context
It's context,
dependent.
yeah.
Yeah, totally. Because when I first saw this, I was in the context of 2010, and I had never seen anything like this, and I was like, "Wow, that was a film." But now I'm watching it, and honestly, I'm not sure how well it's aged. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
I still feel like, "Oh, it's a film." I'm thinking like, "Oh no, it was just really clever for its time."
Yeah.
And I hadn't seen anything like it. But since
see
then,
that.
I have seen a lot of really clever, amazing films. Right, and so I don't know.
Which
That's what I was noticing.
Which
This-
perhaps the release of this helped inspire other artists to create
Totally.
more clever things.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely feel like while this one is still a great movie to watch, great film to watch, I don't feel the same sort of like the same kick,
Yeah.
so to speak.
It's fair. It's reasonable.
Yeah.
So, do you think that they were successful in telling the simple, and it is a fairly simple story that they're telling?
Well, it's simple after you've watched it 37 times.
You're like, okay, the
I
attempt is
finally kind of get
to
it.
convince somebody to do something.
Yeah.
And in order to do that, it has to come from them.
Right.
You can stage it and you can suggest here's some outcomes, pick. And that's basically what it was.
Mm-hmm.
And they really pushed it hard with like the death scene of the dad. And it's just like, oh, he actually wants me to be my own person. And he's regretful because he said that like when he died, I only heard him say regret instead of
Or no, disappointment.
disappointment. And it's disappointment. You tried to be me versus being yourself.
I think that's why I was reminded of the Royal Tenenbaums in this, because I'm like, oh my
Oh,
god,
yeah.
why
A lot
does
of
this
that.
seem so
Horrible
familiar?
father. A lot of the
horrible
same.
father, regret,
yeah.
driving the whole film. Ugh.
Yeah. Been there, done
Yeah,
that.
been there. Yeah, too soon.
I have a feeling it's always going to be too soon for you, Randall.
Always too soon. Well, no, I mean, I feel like a lot of the Wes Anderson movies are like that, and I think Christopher Nolan's probably struggling with the same shit. So
I could see that.
Yeah.
go figure.
Parent issues.
Creative men struggling with relationships with their dad.
I know, right? When's that ever happened?
I know.
Never.
Never.
I love my dad.
Yeah.
Well, you're lucky.
Yeah.
Listeners, I'm dabbing right now.
You are from a standpoint of snacks to approach this film with, because we knew it's
Phenomenal
it's a
question.
2-hour film.
2.5.
You brought some snacks. I had some snacks. How did the snackage align?
I mean,
It was fine.
Popcorn.
yeah, it's literally just popcorn and Doritos, you know?
We came in 2 burgers deep.
Yeah.
We were already like,
Right.
you
There's
know,
nothing wrong with that.
yeah, we were pretty full, I guess. Oh, you
Yeah.
had 2 burgers. I had
Yeah.
1 chicken burger.
Yeah.
But
I feel like the popcorn worked pretty well. I had the olive oil one.
oh yeah.
That was pretty tasty.
You know, I think the other one, the like Boom Chicka Pop, the like lavender bag, I
Mhm.
think that fits the movie more. Or like
Is it
The-
lavender? I always thought it was
no,
purple.
no, it's a
like the packaging is lavender.
yeah.
Oh.
It's a kettle. It's a sweet and salty kettle corn.
okay, yeah.
So yeah, I mean, and that's the one I had, and I actually liked that more than the Doritos that I had because I was like, all right.
Do you think the Doritos would be more suited for like a Gleaming the Cube type movie? Whereas this is
you're just munching along. You don't care what
like,
you get your.
whereas this is like
Cheeto
you're
dust
watching a
on.
whole movie by a person who loves making movies.
Yeah.
So you have the great. Sorry, I am so sorry.
Thank you
You're
for
watching this
apologizing.
film by a filmmaker, and you want to eat the classic film snack, which would be popcorn.
Yes.
I'm more curious if that's what might make more sense. I really enjoyed the popcorn I had while watching it.
Yeah. I enjoyed
It was good.
popcorn and the beer.
Yeah.
It was all really
Right?
great.
I think this movie is a popcorn and oyster movie.
Oyster.
Oysters does make a lot of
Yeah,
sense
because-
actually.
because
Shooting
before-
oysters in this
be-
movie. When do you
because-
shoot? Like, there's so much. I
There's
guess there's a
water
lot of
everywhere.
shooting
No.
in this movie. There's a lot of shooting, so I guess that's what you do. The
No, but
oyster
before
shooting.
the Great Depression, in movie theaters, people had oysters instead of popcorn. But then after the Great Depression, oysters were like expensive and stuff.
No, I know this is a dream.
Jeez. You probably are right.
That's not
I
real.
I have no
Do you guys also
Concept
hear
on
opera
that.
music playing from everywhere?
or that. Yeah. So do you hear music in your dream? No.
Dan, your house is folding. Your house is
No.
folding.
I hear a Wes Anderson soundtrack. What is it?
Just Power Man the King.
So what did they do? Were they like fresh oysters on the half shell? They were like raw, or did they cook them, or what?
Well, fun fact,
Probably
Dan.
raw.
Fun
What's
fact,
the line
Dan.
for that?
I don't know.
Fun fact, Dan. Every movie theater is at like in the water.
In the water.
So you had to, like,
And
go
you just
oyster
reached
shell.
over
Right.
and pulled an oyster and shucked it
But
yourself
see,
and slurped
Right off the
it.
Knee Tarts Bay.
It was a
Yep.
different world before phones.
It was.
People were shooting oysters.
Wow.
Yeah.
They don't really use phones in this except to make a couple of phone calls.
It was 2010.
Yeah.
That's
It
true.
was
Yeah.
sort
It was
of
still
a
like-
cell phone. I mean, there were cell phones in it.
It's also an alternate
Yeah.
like world where they have instant knockout dream technology in a suitcase.
I mean, we could have that
yeah.
in this world, but we just don't know of it.
In a carry-on size.
I mean,
Oh,
I have edibles. That's probably like the same thing.
Did you guys know that in the Denver airport, there you can actually buy this stuff underground?
What?
That's not.
I buy that.
Well,
I believe him.
mean,
I believe
you
him.
never
have you seen
know.
that horse at the Denver airport?
It looks
love the
scary
horse.
AF, dude. This
Lucifer?
thing's giant.
The giant horse.
Lucifer is
with
awesome. I love
the
it.
incredibly large blue balls.
The whole thing's amazing. That and the big blue bear.
Well, the whole story.
Denver
The
rips.
whole story behind that thing is just crazy. You guys all know that, right?
Yeah,
The story
yeah. I
where,
think you
like,
said. I think you sent it to me.
The son of whoever created it, like died, was crushed by the original.
Yeah,
And the son came back to like finish building it.
it's such a cursed horse. I love it
Oh,
so
wow.
much.
I'm probably
That's
getting that
creepy.
completely wrong.
I've
but
dropped in
man,
our chat that
yeah,
I'm going to use it for most of the week one day.
It was
Nice.
such a weird place.
Yeah.
Denver.
Watch
The-
for stuff to come to life
Just
because that
there.
happens in dreams.
Yeah.
You never know.
I thought this was a good movie for multiple beers, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for the snacks, stick to popcorn. You could probably do a meal with it. It's long
I mean,
enough, but
it's-
that seems excessive.
Maybe not like
Yeah.
a big meal.
Oysters.
Maybe just like a side
like-
of fries and something. Maybe.
Yeah, like light appetizers.
Yeah.
Give me some apps, baby. It's all about the apps.
Mm-hmm.
But we had beers. Those of us of age had beers.
Yeah. And there were a couple. I mean, I have been exposed to these beers before, and not in the bad way, but in a good way. I've consumed
In a
them
dream.
In a dream. And both of them are from up and coming newer brewers. Well, the breweries are newer, but they're not new. They've been around the scene for a while.
Interesting.
So if you've heard of Hetty Alice, Gold Dot is an offshoot of Hetty Alice. So it's the guy who opened Hetty Alice, his daughter was the co-brewer, and she decided, hey, I want to make these beers
cool.
over here with somebody else. And they're using basically all of the equipment that Hetty Alice uses, but it's called Gold Dot. And this is a book club black beer, and it has 13 Zmav Pivo. And so Pivo is a lager in Czech, and 13
okay.
degrees is the level of, I want to say, roast. So it's a darker beer. The lower that percent number or that degree number, the clearer it is, or the lighter in color it
Oh,
is.
right. That does sound kind of familiar.
Yeah. And that's, so
It's pretty dark.
It's pretty dark and roasty.
Had a great head.
It did. I
It
enjoyed
looked,
it.
when I poured it in my glass, it looked like a beer in a commercial.
It was
Time
very
to
good.
get lost.
I'd have it again. I don't say that about many beers.
Yeah.
It is pretty high praise. I really liked it. Like
Yeah. So
I was a little hesitant when Dan said what it was, and I was starting to pour it, thinking, nothing's really a matchup. I mean, if you want to talk about what the beer stats are before I get into if it matches or not.
So this is it's clear, even though we're in a dark space, when we drank it, we couldn't really tell. So it's a clear, dark copper brown with an abundant beige foam head. So the head did retain, it had good retention on that. It uses Sadek and Saz hops, which are true Czech hops. It is extensively called a lager because it is cold fermented. It's the whole bit. They decoct it and everything. It's using floor malted dark malts, which means that there's different ways of roasting malt. And sometimes it's easier just to have a big old slab of metal or concrete that you heat up and you put the grains on it, and then it cooks slowly over time versus you put it in a barrel and it rolls and cooks and it's uneven.
Oh, that's cool.
Unmalted typically is more evenly cooked
Huh.
because you can tell what it is just by looking at it.
I love that.
And then you're using your broomer or something to churn the grain and make sure it cooks on all the sides. So this is like a fairly bitter finish. It almost drinks like an export stout, which is kind of weird to say about a lager, but it actually has the body and the thinness that an export stout would have in that roast level. But it's very much a very complex and really nice, well done. The bitterness is really reined in. It's not super bitter at all.
Yeah,
you get more roast bitterness than you do hop bitterness.
Yeah, I for sure got the roast. I'm so used to tasting roast and then getting like a bitter coffee flavor after that. The first few sips, I thought, what is even happening here?
Yeah.
I don't know if I like this. And then I clearly finished it quicker than I should have. Was excited when you brought the final fourth can to share between the three of us. Like, well, yes, please. Of course I'll have some
I
more.
was the same way. I was like, it's already gone.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It was really nice. And I think it went well because
Oh, it for sure matched the film.
it had some complexity to it. It did reflect, there's a lot of thought and meaning put behind the beer.
Yeah.
And the movie is the same way.
And, well, we drank the beer fast. We weren't slamming it like a corn lager or anything. It was just so good. It was easy to sip.
It was a sipper.
But each sip was just a small ooh, this is a good taste. Ooh, this is a good scene.
I couldn't tell you what the beer tasted like, but I really enjoyed it. So I think it matched the film.
Yeah.
I love it.
It didn't distract.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You knew you had something that you could enjoy with it. And that, that's always a classic good way to approach films and movies, as we occasionally do watch. Not all the time, though. And this is a
Cinema in a fermented beverage.
There you go. So, any other thoughts on this?
My thought is we should go to the next beer.
Okay. I was recently last week over at Commensal Fermentation.
Brag.
And Commensal's over. The gentleman who opened Commensal Fermentation is a former assistant or head brewer. I'm not sure exactly which. But he worked at Cascade Barrel Brewing, which did a lot of sours. That's what they specialized in. So they also did normal beers, not just sour beers. To make a sour beer, you have to have a base beer to start from. That's all consistent, and so you know where to go with it once you do start making it. They have their tap room is over on North Williams Avenue here in North Portland. It's a really small, a super small space. They do have production in the back. You can, if you ask them, they'll open the door and show it to you. But the brewers normally there, the guys that do work behind the counter to pour the beers know a lot about beer as well.
They're really knowledgeable, which I know you love.
Yeah, they want to talk. They want to hear your reaction. I bought this beer, and even though it's called a Black IPA, and they know, and in the marketing copy on the can itself, as well as on their website and everywhere, it's not a Black IPA. It's a red IPA or an amber IPA. They didn't use the right malt, but they have all the right hops.
It turns out all the guys who work there are colorblind, but specifically for red and black, which is rare.
Yeah, I know. So
So rare that I think I just made it up just now.
I had this initially on draft before I bought the cans, and I bought the cans there at their location. I didn't buy these in a store, whereas the Gold Dot was bought the other day, yesterday actually, at Beermongers.
I like that the can art for the Commensal looks like their gear from the third layer of Dreams, where they're on the snowy
level.
Stuff,
the snowy level.
Yeah.
Snow level.
Camo gear.
It's camo.
Which I read in the trivia was inspired by Your Majesty's Secret Service.
Yeah. So the kind of story behind this beer called Sea Story is so the gentleman who brewed it is a Marine veteran, and there's a couple of projects out there that are trying to help donate money to veteran projects and like suicide prevention and all this and that. And so there's a veterans hop blend, which is done by Yakima Chief Hop Production Company.
Oh, cool.
And that's out by Yakima, Washington.
Mm.
And they change the blend year to year. So you don't always necessarily know how it's going to turn out. And he wasn't exactly sure how this was going to turn out. It's got a lot more Citra in it this year than in years past. And this is a blend of various hops. So they don't even actually tell you. You just, if you're going to buy it, you're going to buy it. And then they donate like $3 per pound to a veteran organization.
Corner Reynolds' theory about how Chris Nolan doesn't know what his movie's about, that sounds very similar to this style.
You don't know what it's going to turn out like.
Appropriate.
So, I mean,
it's something
Appropriate.
they'll tell you that it's got like this specific one, the research that I did, it's got Citra, Crystal, Yukonot, and Eldorado, and Simcoe. But you don't know at what proportions. It's blending of those. And so you got an actual fairly strong Citra hit on the front, and then it ended more dry and juicy like you would for a New England IPA. And as something that the color was supposed to have been black, but it didn't turn out that way. They tried, I guess this was the first time that they were using a specific recipe and they weren't sure how it was going to turn out. But when you're spending a lot of money because you don't have the ability to do test batches, you just go with it. You're like, okay, we already printed the labels. It is what it is. You know,
somebody's going to drink it.
Yeah, no, it's really
no one's going to be like, oh, take it back. It was too good. The wrong color.
Yeah.
I wanted a black beer, not red.
Yeah.
No one's going to say that.
Nah.
Unless they've watched this film too many times.
They're being a real Tenenbaum about it.
The message was planted that it's supposed to be a certain color, but it's not. But it's still an IPA, and it still tastes like an IPA.
They keep getting incepted by brewers.
I know, right?
Darn it.
Yeah.
Well, how'd you like it, Randall? I feel like I liked it not as much as the first one, but still really good.
I think this would have been a good opener, not a closer.
Yeah.
You think, would you have, if you could go back, swap the two?
Yeah, definitely.
Interesting.
I really
Changed the
enjoyed
order.
the gold dot first.
Yeah, I think that one, while isn't as hoppy, has more character and balance between the malt and the hop. This one is just drier and hoppy,
Which I do like. I do like a dry hoppy.
Yeah, I mean, they're both good quality beers. They just present differently for how you might want to interact with the film while you're drinking it. And I would agree. I think better to start. I wasn't sure how hoppy it was going to be out of the can. On draft, it wasn't as hoppy because it's going to aerate out. It's going to the hop characteristics are going to, when they hit oxygen, are going to disperse faster.
So they have more kick.
Correct. There's more kick out of a can.
Woke me up from a beer dream.
Yes, look it up. All right. Yeah. Any other thoughts on these? I mean, I really thought I did a good job in picking some interesting things.
I'd agree.
Always a good job. Always good.
But it's fun when it's not a good job and you get to go, none of these matched. They're good, but they did not sync up.
And it's,
I think these worked really well with it.
Every time I say commensal fermentation to people, they're like, what does that mean? So,
and they'll continue to wonder. So anyway, happy podcast, everyone.
Renee's got to go to bed.
It's a scientific term. It's actually like
legs to sleep.
It's chemistry. I have a question for the youth at the table. So when you have a symbiotic relationship or you have something that's beneficial to both sides of whatever is occurring, like however they're doing and whatever they're doing, do you know what I'm talking about? So you've got two things that exist, and while they don't rely on each other, if they can do whatever they're doing together in some way and benefit each other by however they're interacting, can you imagine that ever existing in the universe or in the world in what you do in your daily life?
I think he's trying to do Inception on you.
I'm incepting. Sorry.
I'm too tired to think about that.
Can two things be in symbiotic relationship with each other?
English,
where both things are benefiting from what the other is doing.
Yes.
Like there's hippos who hang out in rivers and birds eat food out of their teeth. It cleans the hippo's teeth so the teeth are clean. The birds get food, something like that.
What are two things in your life that are really different but that work really well together?
He's like, why are you asking me this?
Just like one or two things just like
anything.
peanut butter and bananas.
No.
Your toothbrush and your toothpaste.
Toothbrush and toothpaste.
Because they work well together.
They work well together, but never by themselves.
Never by themselves. You sort of got to have them
I
together.
just pictured eating just toothpaste. Now I'm sad.
No, yeah, it's not the same on a finger.
No, not at all.
My brain and myself.
There you go.
I like it.
Yeah, because those are different organs. Your body is a different organ than your brain. Your brain is a separate thing. It's just together. They work together. They're connected. So commensal fermentation, again, is a chemistry term that's beneficial to both parties. That's basically what it means. So you have yeast, which is something that, if it's fed and kept at the right temperature, does stuff with sugar.
Does good stuff.
So it's benefiting you. The product that you're consuming is enjoyable because you have this situation where you have a chemical reaction that's beneficial to all the parties involved.
So,
that's how it was explained to me. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
Isn't that all beer then?
Yes.
All beer is commensal fermentation.
Correct.
Oh, interesting. So it's like a category of interesting. Okay.
It's a very abstracted term. And
Well,
it's
good
not
for them.
it's not it's not a beer, it's not a brewery, it's Commensal Fermentation is the name of the company. And that's why they have to initiate they use CMNSL as their naming convention, because who the hell knows how to spell commensal fermentation? I had to keep correcting myself every time I typed it because I thought it was
It's also fun to not use vowels.
correct. And this uses a lot of vowels.
Commensal.
No, it has no vowels.
An O?
It's got an O and an E and
consonants,
an
Dan.
A. Oh, no, I'm just
They're
messing.
consonants. No, I'm freaking out.
I'm incepting you.
Oh no. I don't know what consonants or vowels are anymore.
I don't know what's a verb.
Oh no, you're too deep in the dream. Your brain's gone to scrambled eggs.
Yes, it has.
Delicious.
So, Otto,
Little black garlic salt in there.
thank you for suggesting this wonderful film.
Yeah.
I'm sorry we're up late and we're trying to conceive of a way of talking about it that doesn't require us to use words with more than 3 vowels. But hey, that's life. It happens. We're concepting ourselves
Dreams
at this
happen.
point.
Do you guys want to have any dreams tonight? What do you guys want to dream about tonight?
Beer.
Beer? All right. I like that. Have you had beer
I
dreams?
never have beer dreams.
You never have beer dreams?
I've never had beer dreams.
Not yet.
No, I'm serious.
Interesting.
My dreams are always about parking or driving or walking somewhere.
That's so funny.
Interesting.
It is. No, I'm serious. And it always takes place somewhere that I recognize, but I've never been.
Okay, that makes sense.
And it's never in something that I would recognize as technology or a vehicle or something that we've experienced here in my existence. Like walking through a casino, but it's all games that I have no idea what it is. I have no idea what these are, what they're doing. And like I have to travel from point A to point B to get to a vehicle, then go park somewhere else. I'm like, that's all it is for me is parking.
Weird.
It all centers around parking.
So it's like
it's a weird karma thing.
It's like
it's
traveling
travel.
dreams
Yeah.
that feel familiar. So
Yep.
it's like familiar travel for Dan. Okay.
Yeah.
Blake?
A lot of back home. Like the ones I'm remembering that I do recall are like my neighbor's yard, my high school. And it's either something like either mundane or world ending. Like I can remember like a big vampire invasion happening and me
jeez.
being like, I hate that we gotta get out of here. And I think it ended when a vampire got on me and I woke up like, this is upsetting.
Wow. I've never had that happen.
Or I was at school and was just reliving a day of school. It was like, this is fine. I wonder if I could just leave, I guess, and just start walking around and then woke up.
Is there what grade?
When I had the dream?
No, like in school dreams.
Yeah, in school dreams, what
Typically
age?
high school.
High school
age?
dreams. Okay, cool.
I don't remember a lot of elementary and middle school because my brain's fun.
What kind of dreams do you want to have tonight?
Ideally not being attacked by a vampire.
Okay, yeah. No.
It's extreme sports. That'd be fun.
Yeah, there you go.
Extreme sports. It's like
Go
skiing.
The
like
downhill bike riding.
what's the shooting and the skiing? It's the what's that?
Shooting while running or whatever.
No, it's an
Otto, you're a sports expert.
It's an Olympic sport.
Yeah,
it's
you
the
cross country ski and you
it's
carry
the-
the
it's the
air
biath-
rifle.
I think it's the biathlon.
Yeah,
That
I think
sounds
that's what it's
right.
that's an
yeah.
insane sport.
It is. You carry the weapon with you, and then you get prone, and then you're firing at your like little airsoft
target.
pistol-y gun, or they're standing with a pistol, or there's laying down.
And these guys are
or there's-
shooting like between heartbeats. They
Yeah.
like count their heartbeats and like I'm going to pull the trigger between heartbeats. I'm like,
Yeah.
God,
That's wild.
crazy. But that's still an Olympic sport?
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
very
okay,
much.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's also a sport. It's definitely not in the Olympics. It's called chess boxing. So
Yeah.
for 3 minutes you play chess,
Uh-huh.
and then for 3 minutes you box each other. Your component. Your
That sounds
chess.
horrible. Is that what
And
you
then-
want to dream about tonight?
No,
I mean, I kind of want to practice for this now. I just have to learn how to play chess.
That sounds like a Fight Club movie.
So good.
Sounds like a nerdier version of Michael.
And what happens? So you play chess and you box each other.
for 3 minutes each. In the way you win is either you KO somebody, checkmate, or draw.
Oh,
So,
I would.
so do you
that
wear
sounds
boxing gloves while you play chess?
I mean,
Or is it
And
bare
that's-
knuckle fisting?
it's your choice.
I love the idea of a boxing glove while you play chess.
That
You're like-
sounds
I'm into
really
it.
amazing. What do you want to dream about tonight?
Um,
What's your favorite kind of dream to have?
I think the majority of my dreams, I feel like I just now realized this when you asked that question. It's like people that I've met before, like only like once or twice, and like celebrities, and we're like just all hanging out, and we're like go to
Just
a concert
chilling?
or something. Yeah, we're just chilling. Yeah,
Just chilling
Dazed and
three
confused.
dreams,
Like-
three dreams deep.
Wow, Weird Al, here we are.
Yeah. All right.
I've never had one with Weird Al, unfortunately.
Oh man,
At least not that I can remember.
I had a beer with Weird Al once.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah,
Whoa.
at the Jupiter Hotel. I was just having a beer, and then he comes sit down next to me, and he's having a beer. And we're having a beer together.
That's
So you like
cool.
holding hands with his accordion?
No,
Oh,
no, totally. I think it was
You
just
having a
staying there.
nice night?
Yeah, I just
Was this
happened-
post mustache era when he got the eye surgery and showed his mustache?
Oh, I don't. Oh,
This
maybe,
like
yeah,
2016. You like sent me that photo.
2016.
Oh yeah, he was doing the long hair, clean shaven.
Yeah.
What about you, Randall?
Reoccurring dreams or dream I want to have tonight?
what do you want to have tonight?
I have dreams about a lot of architecture, so I think I identified a lot of
Interesting.
dreams in this movie, and dreams about travel. Usually going to like places that I've not been, like
Oh,
the
right, yeah,
Dominican
you do.
Republic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
You're always like, I had a dream about when I was in Paris with you, and like
Yeah.
we like had like a bagel on top of that.
yeah. Always dreaming about travel, I think. And last night's dream
It's a
was about
sign.
a former colleague created a black hole machine. You can make these pocket-sized black holes.
Wow.
And they were really versatile. They're like the screwdriver of tools. You could just use them on anything. And like little pocket black holes, you could just be like, oop, there goes my garbage inside the black hole.
Love it.
So like
Like, oh, so amazing. Yeah.
portal.
It's like a portal.
Yeah.
Yeah, a portal to nowhere. And you could just like pull it out. A portal to nowhere.
The mini bag of holding.
Yeah.
I gotta clean up my car.
That's a great invention. Great
Wait,
invention.
That's the sound I pictured too.
Just sucking it in and then just.
Oh,
I just imagine like a
yeah, like
it's
a
gone.
pop. Gone. Like that guy, the Spots guy in the Spider-Verse movie.
Yeah.
Oh, the spot.
Yeah, so good.
Voice by Jason Schwartzman.
Oh, Jason, wow, full circle.
Yes.
We got full circle.
Before
We watched. Yeah.
Before we watched Inception, we watched Jason Schwartzman MTV Cribs. If you've not watched it, watch it.
It's pretty. It definitely feels dated.
Yeah, Dan,
It
put it
is
in the show notes.
very dated, but it's funny.
It is
if,
funny.
if you have
Good time.
any clue as to what Cribs is and or was.
Yeah.
It actually is an amazing.
Yeah, if you don't know what
spoof.
Cribs is, it's like this is fucking crazy. But if you know, but if you like,
if you know Cribs is,
You're like,
as
oh, I
we
get
mentioned,
this.
they're like,
So
oh, they're
confused.
following it.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
doing the exact
doing the
thing they
exact
do
same
for
thing.
every
They got
episode.
it.
And
Yeah.
it takes place what like in
No
So-
spoilers.
France.
Palace and
in
In France.
In France.
It's a film, Otto.
It's a film.
It's a work of art.
It is a work of art. So I think we all really enjoyed this movie. I think everyone's got a thumbs up on that.
Oh, yeah. I
Thank
still
you
like
for the
it.
suggestion. And, we'll come up with another fun, interesting movie it could be as challenging as this. There's some weird, good stuff out there.
Hellraiser.
There's some interesting
Yeah.
entertainment out there. It just depends on what we're in the mood for.
he wants to watch The Godfather
Yeah.
or 2001
Yeah, 2001: A Space Odyssey.
or
might
The
be
Shining,
fun.
maybe.
The Shining, yeah.
Yeah,
Or,
we can-
That might be fun.
I want to, yeah.
because it's in Oregon.
It's in Oregon, yeah.
Yeah. Where, like, at least they shot the
2001:
outside
A Space
shots.
Odyssey set in
Yeah.
Oregon. Oh my god.
Yeah, The Shining.
That's wild.
It took place at Mount Hood Meadows.
What do you want
Interesting.
to? What are some other ones on the list?
Well, first of all, Dan, it was actually Timberline.
Oh, Timberline Lodge.
Timberline.
I'm sorry.
Get auto-corrected? What was the question?
Oh, jeez. Autocorrected.
Dang.
The man got burned on his own
What are
podcast.
some other films you'd like to watch?
I just, like, saw this film. I don't know where I saw it, but The Producers with Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks. I'm pretty sure.
Ooh,
The
the
original producer.
Classic.
The one that was based off the play.
Wow. That's
Versus the remake that was.
based on the movie.
Yeah.
It's based on the play.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Maybe, yeah.
The original one was good, though.
Mm-hmm. It's Jill Wilder.
a film based on the book, based on the musical, based on this movie, based on real life.
So much.
That never happened. That
How
was
much
fictionalized?
Inception is going on with that
There's
one?
a lot of layers, man.
I mean, that
Too many
sounds almost like
layers.
Wes Anderson right there.
I know.
So,
It's
a
too
film
many.
about a play, writing a play, doing the play. as
Yeah.
a movie.
Meanwhile, the sound just keeps happening.
Here we are.
We should go see the new Wes Anderson in theaters.
The Fashonian
That'll be the
scheme.
next. That'll be the
Yeah.
next.
We should do that
Oh,
for the next one.
yeah.
Right on.
I'm
The
curious. About it.
Phoenician scheme.
Oh, sorry.
The
But
Phoenician
Michael
scheme.
Cera's in it, which is really weird.
I know.
He's like doing like a
I
German accent in
know.
the trailer.
Looks
He's
weird.
like-
I'm not a big Michael Cera fan.
Wow.
yeah, he like plays the same character.
He's
in every
always
movie.
the same character.
Hopefully-
He's
No
a-
offense to Michael Cera. if
I
you're
mean,
listening.
he does. He plays
Yeah,
the type,
it's the
but
same
hopefully this one will be
character.
different.
Yeah.
He was
hopefully.
good in Molly's Game. You guys seen that one?
You did tell me about this. I haven't seen it.
So good.
Right on. All right. Thumbs up for the movie.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up for the alcohol we consumed
Oh, yeah.
and the snacks. The snacks were on point.
Chris,
I'm sorry. My
the
bad.
snacks were on point. And
bad.
at some point in time, we're gonna hydrate. Maybe.
I'm trying to think of how to do it in the dream thing, but just, if you don't hydrate, you're going to have deep level dreams of dehydrating.
We're gonna get the didgeridoo out, and we're gonna start.
There was a lot of hydrating in this film.
There's a lot of water.
Water,
Lot
yeah.
of
Water in this film.
Yeah.
Not really any booze drinking.
No,
I could
there's-
say.
I mean, there's the
there's
bar,
a few
right?
bar scenes,
Yeah. Bar.
but they didn't really drink anything. There was alcohol there, but they didn't really drink anything. So
I mean,
yeah.
you could see people drinking in like the background, like,
That's true.
but like that.
He
doesn't-
was just snacking on stuff. That was
Yeah.
food. This beer, Jason.
Yeah. All right. So the opinions expressed during the taping of this recording are those of the hosts. We want to thank you for hanging out and joining us for this episode, and we'll catch you on the next recording. So thank you for spending your at least hour with us. About an hour.
I heard some change. This is Blake saying, oh boy, this is Blake saying, keep on dreaming.
Oh, wow.
God, I'm not happy with it.
You want to try it again?
Nope.
No? Okay. We'll circle. We
It's
don't have
real
we can
life,
circle-
baby.
Okay.
We'll come back around. Full
This is Randall saying, wake up. Wake up.
Wake up.
This is Otto, and I will see you in 10 years your time.
There you
10
go.
years or 5 minutes or yesterday or
Depends on the
tomorrow.
dream,
Yeah.
how deep you are. Thanks for hanging, everybody. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye, Dan.
Goodbye.